lead into this, and then we're going to go into it. Because the camera's running. It's running right now.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. Welcome
to impromptu. Can't beat impromptu.
That's right. Welcome to Rick's Corner. I have with me today a man who's a legend. He was the first man to be on Muscle Power magazine, Joe Weider's magazine, the first man ever with a 20 of what?
First black man. That's the point.
You're black?
Really? I don't know.
I didn't know that.
You just found out, all right.
People think I am. I don't know what it is. I got that brother in me. Welcome to Rick's Corner. It's with great sadness that I have to say that my good friend, legend bodybuilder Leroy Colbert has passed away on November 20th, 2015. Leroy had a long history in bodybuilding. He grew up in New York. He was born in 1933. He was 82 years old. Very well known throughout the bodybuilding circles, had tons of friends, and he was the first man ever on the cover of Muscle & Fitness to have a 21-inch arm. This man was incredible. He owned a couple of health food stores in New York. Later on, he had a motorcycle accident and tore his foot and his ankle and wasn't able to train legs anymore after that, so he didn't compete after that. But he made a name based on his upper body, what he had. His arms were tremendous. He was a likable guy, knew everybody. He knew every celebrity, every bodybuilder, everybody knew him, and he loved to talk. I met him in Los Angeles on Ventura Boulevard in his health food store a few years back. I knew of him, he knew of me, but we never met face to face. So I went in and I left an autograph picture, and his assistant said, he'll be back, usually here in the afternoons. So I stopped in one day and we started talking, and it talked for 2 hours. He had so much history, he had so much to talk about with training and diet and how the sets and the reps were different back then and how to gain the most out of your workouts. He knew it all, he knew it all. People would come into the store, he knew just what vitamins and supplements to give them, he didn't have to think about it. He knew what they had, he knew what to give them. He was a tremendous guy. I'm really sorry that he passed away. He was a good friend. He had a lot of videos that I did 2 shows with him, maybe 3 I think, shows. I did a tribute to him. He did one on me, which was kind of funny. But he was a very giving person. He would give to anybody. He'd give the time of day. You walk in there, he'd put you out in the back room in his office, he'd put his legs up and he'd just talk. I used to go by around 5 in the evening and I'd talk for 2 hours. Leroy, I gotta go home and eat. This is getting late. Oh, I have more to tell you, Rick. He said, I'm just a bag of wind. And you just go on and on and on. So he made a couple $1 million in New York, he told me, in his health food stores, and he went through some divorces and lost some of the money, and he liked to talk about training, he liked to talk about vitamins, he liked to talk about women. Those were his three top subjects. He had a lot of advice in relationships, he had a lot of advice in training too, and I used to get a kick out of it because he's a funny guy, just a funny guy. He taught himself how to use the computer so he could work his website and answer emails. He wasn't quite sure in the beginning, but he did it, he made it happen. And he created a big following on his webpage, which is LeroyColbert.com. He does all the voiceovers on there, has tons of photos. It'd be worth it for you to go look at it. It's an amazing website. I knew that he wasn't feeling well. He told me a couple of years ago, he says, you know, Rick, all my friends are dying. They're all in their late 70s. He says, I'm 80, he's 83 now, 82 now. And he says, I'm going to go soon too. He says, I said, how do you know that, Leroy? He says, I just know I'm going to go soon. I just feel it. I didn't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that you're going to lose a friend. But he was pretty adamant about the fact he wasn't going to last. Even though I don't think there was much wrong with him. He looked okay. He was a little overweight, and he didn't move around very well. But he still worked out, and he had weights in his office. But he did take a big cup of vitamins. Like, I don't know, must have been about 40 vitamins in there. And he just chucked them down and chew them. I said, Leroy, you need water and food with that. No, it's okay. I don't know. I couldn't imagine doing that. That seemed awful. It wasn't right to me. He closed down his store a couple of years ago. He had this statue up on a shelf. So I said, Leroy, I'd like to have that. He says, give me $50 and you can have it. I said, here you go. I took it and I brought it home because it reminds me a lot of my cartoon characters that I drew, and he knew that too. So now I have it, and it reminds me of Leroy every time I look at it because it was part of his life. He had it for many, many years. He moved to Nevada. He retired there. He didn't have any money. He kind of got by on pension and some of his YouTube money, which wasn't a lot. And then recently I was told that he tripped and fell, cracked his skull, broke his nose, and cracked his jaw. And lay there for quite a while until some lady found him and he went to the hospital. He went into ICU for, I don't know, maybe a few days, a week, and then passed away. So I got the news last night. It was November 20th, but I got it like on the week and a half later I didn't know. I haven't heard anything. But I wanted to put a tribute to Leroy because he was a great guy. You younger guys who don't know who he is, look him up. There's not anybody like that around today. The legends, the icons of the past are what were the groundwork for bodybuilding. These are the guys that put bodybuilding on the map. It's up to younger guys to carry the torch and remember the old and have respect for them because he's quite an amazing guy. So I just want to say I'm very sad to hear about Leroy. This is my tribute to him. I hope he's up in heaven looking down at us, and peace be with you, Leroy. We love you.
It's RickDrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.